This month alone, we've explored the economies of Italy and Greece, two other European economies that have been stagnant since the mid-2000s, and it's important to make a big disclaimer here that the UK is not in as bad a situation as these countries were. Not yet, at least. But the challenges that the UK is facing are both different, and while potentially less severe, they're going to be harder to deal with. The biggest issue is simply a crisis of confidence. There is a reason that we always include something as potentially ambiguous as confidence in the exploration that we do of all national economies, and even include it in our leaderboard. And that's because it's one of the most important things that any economy can build up, and once it's lost, it can do some very tangible damage. The economy of the UK has obviously had a long, slow decline from its peak as a world-dominating colonial power, but its economic problems as they exist today arguably started on the 16th of September in 1992, now affectionately known as Black Wednesday. Before this, the UK still had its problems, but it was still seen as one of the most stable and reliable economies in the world to handle trade, finance, and investment. The pound was still the world's second most used global currency, and it had the reputation for being, well, as sound as the pound. Old people might remember this saying, but it doesn't make much sense today. 2 years before this fateful day, the UK entered into an agreement known as the Exchange Rate Mechanism, or ERM. This was almost an early precursor to the euro. What this agreement did was link the major currencies in Europe together with a pre-agreed exchange rate range. If a country's exchange rate between another member country got too high or too low, the central banks of those two countries would need to intervene to get it back within the agreed upon range.